Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Red Beard, and we are here for Beard Book Talk. This is basically my weekly wrap up where I tell you what I read, what I got, what I'm going to read. Got through some stuff, really finding myself able to get through some audio this week. Got a few books, not as many as normal, and I'm thinking that's going to slow down a little bit. I do not like to use the word book buying ban, but I'm going to pull back and kind of read this TBR that I've put together, which is pretty extensive already. Stuff that I read, I finished Broad Street Bastard by Chad Lusky. Now, this was a 3-star read for me. It is not really horror, more of a crime type thing. Jex is a teenager, 18 years old, but he's I don't know. He's already in like a 12-step program like AA, and he's battling with that. He's also um, magic with the ladies, which again, for me it was maybe a bit much as far as every woman in the book wants to sleep with him or sleeps with him, and he gets into some trouble there with some married women where his buddy spends the night in his place because his buddy comes over drunk and he was on his way out. He's like, hey, you got to stay here. He comes back the next day and his buddy has been brutally fucking murdered. And he realizes that was for me, and I got to figure out which one of these dudes that I pissed off is crazy enough to try to kill me. Anyway, Broad Street Bastard, for me it was 3 stars. It's actually a prequel. I might have the other ones here, at least one of them. Let me see. Give me just a second, because Lutsky's right here. I actually don't, but I've read both the other ones. Um, sorry. The other ones are so the same Deepwater as You was published first, but it's the third book. Slow Burn on Riverside. I think that's right. I always mess up with that title. Is second published, but it's the middle book, and Broad Street Bastard was just recently published. It's actually the first book. So if you want to read them chronologically, you get what I'm saying. But anyway, 3 stars for me. I finished Misery. This is a reread. And loved it. I mean, probably 4-star loved it, but there's so much here that like I caught on second read. Like for example, I often talk about movie pollution. I've seen the movie a handful of times, and I knew the differences. Like I knew the differences in the hobbling scene. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in the movie, because again, we're not talking about the movie. In the movie, she well, I guess we're talking about the movie, but she uses a sledgehammer to break Paul Sheldon's ankles to hobble him. In the book, that is much more extreme, and then there's also a scene with an electric knife. What I found though was, my theory is that Annie Wilkes. Let me see. I'm going to say this out loud. I'm going to think it out loud. My theory is that Annie Wilkes was not this massive Paul Sheldon fan, because we find out Annie Wilkes is. I mean, again, I kind of thought she was just a Paul Sheldon fan. She finds him alongside the road. She takes him in. She's bringing him back to health. She finds out he killed her favorite character in his most recent book, and she makes him anyway. Um, my theory is that's just way too fucking coincidental that this woman that lives out in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, just happened across her favorite writer in a wrecked vehicle on the side of the road. My theory is Annie Wilkes was fucking crazy, and that's another thing that I kind of forgot was how much background there was to the evil things that she had done up to this point. My theory is that she would have picked up any dude that she found on the side of the road, and he could have been a professional baseball player, and she would have spent the time that he was convalescing, the time where he was basically in the dream world of pain medication, before he came out of it, to learn everything she could about him. That's my opinion. Is she was not this big Paul Sheldon fan. She just read his books in the couple months. I mean, because I'm not really firm on this, but he did. She didn't find him on the side of the road, and he wakes up the next day and starts writing Misery's Return. Right, like there was a period of time where he was in and out of Novril induced sleep, and that's my thing. I could be wrong, and maybe someone else has thought about that. But yeah, thought it was very cool. I really like this book. I mean, just a killer example of two characters carrying an entire novel. Definitely, there are ties to The Shining because it brings up the Overlook Hotel at one point, and maybe some loose ties to Salem's Lot because of the way she takes care of the first cop that shows up, much like someone staking a vampire. Now that's really loose, but the Shining stuff is really there. But yeah, dug this book. Dug all of the Annie Wilkes. I mean, she's probably one of my favorite villains. I mean, she's not Rose the Hat good, but really like Annie Wilkes. And it's a weird thing because Paul Sheldon's, he's the hero of the book, but he's not necessarily really a lovable guy, and for me, like, he's being brought back to life by this woman, and like she's breathing life into him, and all he could think about is her bad breath and her just the way she looks and her physical appearance and things like that. So like early on, I was kind of like, man, fuck Paul Sheldon, But anyway, cool book, really really cool on reread. There's a lot more there than I thought there was. So yeah, so again, I did this on audio, and I use Scribd for that, and so I did Sleeping Beauties and Misery, and after that, it kind of cut me off. Like I was not able to do another like full length Stephen King novel. But I was able to do so I read that. Let me see if I can. What I did with my phone? Yeah, I was wanting to show you that. And again, if you're here, I'm assuming you like being here, so you do not mind if I take a little bit of time here to show you this. There's my 2024 reading challenge, and so I read Let's see if you can see that. By Stephen King. I thought it was UR. For some reason I thought it was almost like ER, but it's UR. And this is a killer story. I mean, it was perfect for me. It may not be a perfect story, but for me it was a perfect story. Just loved it because a dude that is all about books like me finally breaks down and gets a Kindle, and but his Kindle, he gets it and it's bright pink and and it's weird, right? And he finds that there's a directory in there, a menu for er selections, and what he finds out is basically there are 10.4 million other realities, other universes, and like your favorite author exists or might exist in all of them. So he was a Hemingway guy. He finds out that in one, of course, Hemingway probably died at a young age, but in another one, he didn't kill himself, and died like 4 years later and wrote like three additional novels. In one reality, he was a dime store crime novelist, and so imagine that. Imagine you find out that there are 10.4 million other versions of your favorite writer. First of all, it sounds super cool, but also very overwhelming. And then I got to thinking, what if Annie Wilkes is a reality traveler and then goes across, trying to take out as many Paul Sheldons as she can. But and then at the end, so he finds another menu on there that this is like local news, and the local news is like in the future, and he finds out something that's getting ready to happen to someone he cares deeply about and tries to fix it, but there's all these paradox rules and whatnot, and the low men in yellow coats show up, and there's ties to the Dark Tower, and so for me that was really cool. Again, I've only read the first 4 books of the Dark Tower, and I'm very close to restarting and making that a commitment for to do that this year, and I think I am now that was tied to the Dark Tower. So yeah, really enjoyed that. And then I, the Clown Brigade by Stephen Graham Jones. Now again, Ur's like 2 hours, so I did that one, and then the Clown Brigade by Stephen Graham Jones. This was like an hour and 20 minutes. I did this one. I really enjoyed it, like 4-star enjoyed it, and it's this dude is seeing clowns everywhere, and he's like, we think he's a normal dude to start off, but then we find out more and more that he's very stalkerish with women, and he's got multiple restraining orders against him, and it's kind of this thing about, behave like a clown, actually physically become a clown type thing, and I really like that one. Like I like Stephen Graham Jones, but some of his stuff has been a miss for me. Um, Next to The Only Good Indians, it might be my favorite piece of fiction that I've read by Stephen Graham Jones. And then, so that's all the stuff that I got through, I think. I started after that, again, my scribe thing, like I said, they limit you um, per month. And I don't know why I'm able to reach Stephen Graham Jones and not Stephen King right now. But all that refreshes on March 21st. So on March 21st, I might do a couple Dark Tower novels this next month, and then go into these other ones like the Clown Brigade was a scribed original, so I could read that at any time. But for whatever reason, I was able to start After the People Lights Have Gone Off. After the People Lights Have Gone Off, also by Stephen Graham Jones. So this one's like 5 hours and 35 minutes. So I'm working on that one. That'll be my next audio. And then I really think I'm either going to do the Dark Tower when I get re-upped or whatever. I'm really going to do the Gunslinger, or I'm going to do Tommy Knockers. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. So that's the stuff I've been doing in audio. I also am reading 19 Claws and a Blackbird by Agustina Bastarrica. That's my Shorts on Shorts book I'm working on. I've read like the first 3 stories of that, and I didn't bring it in here, and I hate that. I really hate when I forget to bring a book in here. But I'm reading. It's either Mad Black Wheel or Black Mad Wheel. I think it's Mad Black Wheel by Josh Malerman. I started that, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, so much so that, I mean, halfway through, it's my favorite Malerman book that I've read. Now, again, I've only done Bird Box, Mallory, and The House at the Bottom, or A House at a Bottom of a Lake. I always get the uhs and the does mixed up, but I'm loving Mad Black Wheel or Black Mad Wheel. Anyway, so I'm reading that now. What I'm gonna read. Again, I'm doing this one. I'm going to do the short stories in this one. After I finish, I already talked about what I'm going to do in audio, but after I finish Black Mad Wheel, now again, I was on an Ira Levin read through, and I kind of paused that and picked up a Malerman. But after Mad Black Wheel, I'm either going to do This Perfect Day by Ira Levin, or I'm going to do another Malerman, and that would be his second, because Mad Black Wheel is his first standalone novel. Like, he published Bird Box first, but then it was that one's, and this is the second one. So I'm either going to do the Levin or the Malerman. I don't know. So that's it. That's the stuff I'm reading. I'm going to show you what I got real quick. Again, I did not get a lot of books. I bought a 4-book horror lot on eBay, mostly because it had a couple of Jack Ketchum books. But and I've read a bunch of Ketchum, but it was back in the day, and I don't remember what I've read. I mean, I know that I read Red. I know that I read The Girl Next Door. I've read that twice at least. But after that, I don't really know which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. But anyway, I got The Spear by James Herbert, and it's got a little Nazi slant on it, maybe a little Nazi symbol there. But don't know much about that. I also got The Fog by James Herbert. And then I got, like I said, 2 Ketchum books. I got The Lost by Jack Ketchum, and I got Off Season by Jack Ketchum, which I've heard is pretty freaking amazing. I don't know. But, yeah. So I got those 4 books. And then I got I bought 2 books from the same seller on Pango, mostly because I wanted this. I just read Sundial, loved it. I had read The Last House on Needless Street, but I did not have a hardcover copy of it, and I do this, so I need my tools, and my tools are these books to be able to wave around. Anyway, so I picked that up, and the same seller had a copy of Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, which I have not read, and I probably will eventually, but same seller had it, so I picked that up as well. And then, this is all before I've kind of put this book buying ban on myself, but I've been looking for nice hardcovers of stuff that I've read to put on my beautiful shelves back here, and I needed this, The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. It is a book club edition, pretty nice condition though. I mean, there's, it's already in the cellophane, or whatever you call it, the jacket cover. But I picked that up. I can't remember what I paid for it. It wasn't a lot though. And then did a search for Matheson hardcover stuff, because I recently got I Am Legend in hardcover. And other than that, most of the Matheson stuff that I have is paperback. So I picked up Earthbound, which I have read. This one was in really nice condition. I don't remember a ton about this one, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But I picked that up. And then I picked up Hunted Past Reason. Not as good a condition, some stickers on the side and whatnot that I've been unable to remove as of yet. I know there's techniques to do that. I don't really mess with that too awful much. For me, it's usually the fingernail and peel method. But anyway, Hunted Past Reason is fucking crazy. It's the most extreme Richard Matheson book that I've read, and I've read probably 10. It's nuts. It is very, very extreme. I'm not going to tell you anything else about it. You should, if you like extreme horror, especially extreme horror by dudes that we consider to be, horror bosses, this is definitely one you need to read. So, that's it. That's everything I got, everything I read, everything I'm going to read. I've really found my flow, definitely finding more time to do audio than physical, but got my physical going as well. And that's it. This is Well Read Beard. This has been Beard Book Talk. I hope you enjoyed it. One last thing. Look, I've fallen in love with shorts. I don't know if you've noticed, but I started doing shorts, and my shorts views are through the roof compared to these views, my normal video views. So I don't know what that means. I mean, I can't do this in a short format. But I may be coming here, normally, like if I read a book, I had to come here and do like a real full video of it. But now I've been doing shorts, and that may be the new norm. I may come here once a week and do this. I may come here, I may try to do this twice a week. I don't know. I really don't, but the shorts have been doing pretty well for me. So check those out. Because I've been doing a lot of short reviews. I've been doing shorts on shorts. I've been doing King shorts on all the King stuff that I'm working through. So, and there's going to be more to come there. Like I did like a little library tour. I did, top 5 books I own, things like that. So really having fun with it. But this is Well Read Beard. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.